Okay, one thing about me, guys and girls, is I very rarely miss a home game. And in fact, in 5 years on the Cardinals beat, I don't think I've ever missed an entire home series at Busch Stadium before until this weekend. And what's my reward? Nothing, casual, just Yadier Molina coming back to St. Louis and being in the dugout. So that's where I'm at. Tried to take a weekend vacation, got rewarded with missing that. Welcome back to Cardinal Territory. Yes, it is true. You saw it yesterday in the Cardinals 5-0 win over the Chicago Cubs. Yadier Molina is back in St. Louis. He was invited by manager Oli Marmol to be in the dugout in uniform for Friday and Saturday's game. Yadi was in town for a signing event in St. Louis and reached out a couple months ago, letting John Mozeliak know that he was going to be in town. The two got to talking, and Mo reached out to Oli and said, hey, what do you think about having Yadi back? And he plans to be in the dugout around the guys. And Oli Marmol said, absolutely, no brainer, bring back number 4. So they did. And again, I wasn't there, but the pictures in the video looked awesome. And I would imagine that having Yadi back after such a prolonged and notable absence was a welcome time for everyone in the organization, whether it's players, whether it's coaches, and especially the fans. So really great to see number 4 take out the lineup card yesterday, do some work with Pozo, Pajes, just being around the guys. That does so much. You all know what Yadi's impact is in this organization. You don't need me to tell you. But to have him back in St. Louis and to see him be more involved with the team, just really cool at a time where I think we could all need it. You know, not a lot of great vibes around the organization right now. Yadi certainly does that. Now, let's talk about why this was such a big deal, okay? Why did Oli Marmol invite Yadi to be in the dugout? We know that Ollie's under contract through 2026, right? So he has 1 year remaining on his deal, but it is natural, it is fair to speculate what any manager's position is with the club when a new front office is coming in. John Mozeliak is stepping down in October. We know this. Chaim Bloom will take over as soon as the offseason starts. I don't think there's an exact date. There will be some sort of crossover, but once the offseason is officially here, it's Chaim Bloom's show. What that means for Oli Marmol and his coaching staff is fair to question, though I will say I don't think the Cardinals have given any inclination that they're going to make a manager change. And honestly, I don't think they should, but that's a story for another podcast episode. But I think Oli understands what he is inviting in, the speculation, the rumors, the storylines, by having Yadi be on his staff in the dugout, even for a couple of games. We know what kind of perception that could bring. You add in the fact that Saturday's game is a nationally televised game on Fox, and Sunday is Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. There's going to be a lot of national attention about this. But I thought it said a lot about Oli's character and what he wants to do for his clubhouse. The fact that he could put all of that aside, all the speculation, his own ego, and bring in someone who has actively said he wants to manage in baseball at some point in his career. So when we talked to Oli about this, I talked to him Thursday night. I thought this quote was super telling. I asked him, hey, why? I understand. I think everyone understands why Yadi is here. But do you understand what kind of speculation the door that you're opening here? And here's what he said. I'll read this straight from The Athletic. Anytime you get the chance to have someone like Yadi around your players, you take it. It's a no-brainer. The experience, the leadership, the presence he brings, it impacts everyone. As soon as I heard he was going to be in town, inviting him to sit next to me was the right move. It's good for the players, good for the staff, and honestly, it's great for the fans too. I thought that was such a cool answer. All right, Oli Marmol knows exactly what the narrative is going to be. Like, could this be his replacement? Is he bringing his replacement in on staff to sit next to him? He doesn't care. He went out and talked about how exciting and impactful it is to have Yadi here. He said, I really enjoyed my time with Yadi, both as a coach and as a manager. I'm looking forward to having him back in uniform. There's a deep respect there, not just for how he sees the game, but for the way he carries himself. Even in just a short window, I know he can leave a lasting impact on our players. He leads by example, and in his own powerful way, he shows these young guys what's possible when you pour everything you have into the game. That kind of presence, it stays with you. And obviously, if you've watched Yadi play at all, which all Cardinals fans have, you know how true that is. And given the influx of youth on the roster currently and the lack of experience, and this is no knock on any of those guys, it's just the fact of the matter where they are in their careers, having someone like Yadi come in, he's a franchise icon, right? Having his presence there to show this next group of Cardinals, hey, this is how we do it. It's exactly the right call for everybody involved. So very cool to see number 4 back in St. Louis. I wish I could see that, but I did see some from the local reporters, including John Denton of MLB.com, that Yadi is hoping to be around the team a little bit more, maybe even when the team goes and plays the Miami Marlins in a couple of weeks. So maybe I'll get my redemption shot, because I could not believe that. I cannot believe that happened. Just my luck. This will be a quick episode for you guys today. We're going to break down some bullpen roles. First, though, we are going to hear from our quick message from our sponsors at Fair Harbor.
It's summertime, it's bathing suit time, and it's time to get a better bathing suit liner. It's 2025, Kratz. I would like to feel more comfortable, and I would like to thank Fair Harbor for doing that.
It's super easy. Get the Fair Harbor Breeze Knit liner in your shorts. You can go play football on the beach. You can play paddleball. And you don't got to worry about that crappy liner that other bathing suits have.
It is so comfortable. You got to check it out. I'm telling you, it's like butter, baby. You got to check out the Fair Harbor, not only bathing suits, but they carry a full line of casual clothing, shorts, shirts, hoodies. Go to the website, fairharborclothing.com/foul and use code FOUL for 20% off your first purchase. That's fair, HARBOR clothing.com/foul for 20% off your first purchase. And make sure that you use the FT promo code so that they know we sent you and you get the discount, FOUL.
All right, we'll do a quick wrap up of yesterday's game. Shout out Jordan Walker. That's my wrap up. He had a really nice game. I saw the exit velos finally hit one out. No Busch Stadium effect for Jordan Walker with that homer. Good to see him coming around. And we talked on the prior episode about playing time and how Oli Marmol can navigate that and how it's not perfect, but everyone is going to get enough at bats where the Cardinals can make decisions about guys on their future. Jordan Walker seems to finally be figuring things out at the plate. He has roughly 7 weeks to finish strong, and then we'll go from there. But a nice game from Jordan Walker yesterday. When we were down in LA, we got a chance to see the Cardinals' new bullpen, if you will. And the new big three seems to be Kyle Leahy, Riley O'Brien, and JoJo Romero. The problem with this, as we know, is when you have one lefty reliever in your bullpen, like JoJo Romero, it really impacts what kinds of lanes you can use him in. Against the Dodgers, I thought this was the perfect example. You have to save JoJo Romero for a high leverage situation in the late innings. Okay, that's specific to any team. For the Dodgers, you have to save JoJo Romero for Shohei Ohtani in the later innings. So Oli Marmol and Dusty Blake had to plan their entire game plan strategy around it when Shohei was going to come up and having JoJo available for that. It was not saving him for the ninth. It was not saving him for highest leverage. Well, it kind of is because Shohei Ohtani is always highest leverage. But they specifically had to save JoJo Romero for the Ohtani lane because after Ohtani, you have Mookie Betts, who crushes you regardless. I know he's having a down season offensively, but he's still Mookie Betts, okay? And then you have another lefty in Freddie Freeman. You have to save JoJo Romero for that lane. So it's allowed other players to step up. We'll talk with Riley O'Brien first, who picked up his first save in Wednesday's win. Riley O'Brien has really seemed to just have a night and day. When you think about when he was first pitched in 2024, it was at Dodger Stadium and he got rocked. And then he went on the IL shortly after and he just didn't look comfortable. It looked like he was pitching, I don't want to say scared, but just didn't trust his stuff. You fast forward to his last appearance at Dodger Stadium, he was lights out. That's a guy who is super convicted in what he wants to do and what he believes he can be. Will we see Riley O'Brien in safe situations? Yes. Will we see JoJo Romero in safe situations? Yes. So this is what the Cardinals mean by closer by committee. You're probably going to get one of those two. Maybe Kyle Leahy, but we'll get to him later. Just based on lane. In a perfect world, you have JoJo Romero for the ninth, every ninth, and you can use him like a traditional closer like they did to our pal Ryan Helsley. But because, again, there's only one lefty, they have to save him for that lane, which means other guys have to step up. And Riley O'Brien's done a really nice job. We talked to him on Wednesday after the game. We talked to all three of the relievers, actually. And the common message between JoJo, Riley, and Kyle, it's weird how, like, some players, like, you go by their last name. Like, I didn't like that I just referred to Kyle Leahy as Kyle. He's someone that you refer to as a last name. Anyway, maybe that's a baseball thing. Maybe you guys understand what I'm talking about. Who knows? Or maybe you think I'm just crazy. That's also true. But the common connection between those three was the confidence they have in their abilities. And they're like, yeah, we can handle this. It's a new role. It's higher leverage. More is at stake, but we trust our stuff. And you can see it on the mound. Kyle Leahy, I don't think his future is closer material. And the Cardinals can use the next 7 weeks of the season to maybe jumpstart on who could be their closer in 26. But when we talked to Oli Marmol about this before Wednesday's game, the consensus was that while Kyle Leahy has done an incredible job as a high leverage bridge reliever, multi-innings, versatile, can go get right-handed, left-handed hitters, the whole package, his future is more looks to be more in line with a potential starter. And this is something that the Cardinals have talked about dating back to spring training. But when you think about Kyle Leahy's arsenal, he has a 6-pitch arsenal. He's not overly splitty. He can, again, get the right-handed batters out. He can get the left-handed batters out. And the biggest thing about Leahy, to use an Oli phrase, is he doesn't scare. And it's true. He goes out there. He's the nicest guy off the field. Seriously, all three of them are just delights. But he gets on the mound and he has this calm demeanor where he just knows he's going to get the result that he wants. And he weathered through that rough period in June, midway through the season, where he was getting hit hard and there was a lot of contact. He wasn't getting a lot of swing and miss, and overcame it and is better for it. And isn't that the whole point of the season? Wasn't that the whole goal, was to have players come in, adjust to the major leagues, struggle, rally, and be better? That's exactly what Kyle Leahy's been doing. So they will use him in high leverage to finish the season because there just aren't a lot of other options out there. But I think when we go into the offseason, we're looking at potentially Kyle Leahy being a starter or stretching out to be a starter. He certainly has the makeup to do so. All in all, though, it's a tough bullpen. I mean, you have 1 lefty and 7 right-handed relievers who all pretty much have the same stuff and all have a year or less of service time. So there is going to be some growing pains with this group, but I'm excited about it, especially with those 3 in particular. I think Gordon Crescefo can still be a factor for them. Just got to have a little bit better results, but it's so early in his career. I think that, the ceiling's very high. And I would like to see what Ryan Fernandez does. I think the game, his outing on Tuesday, it just kind of sped up on him, his first time back since his lengthy time in Memphis. But I still think Ryan Fernandez can be a factor as well in this club. So that's the bullpen. That's where we're at. Quick break as we hear from our friends at Arena Club, and we'll get to whatever I plan next. I don't know.
AJ, I'm on my phone right now in Arena Club, and I'm looking at the Emerald slab packs, and I see in the Grail a Bobby Witt Jr. 2020 Bowman Chrome Prospect Auto Gold Refractor card.
Give me that. Give me your phone. I'm gonna get you to
you gotta buy
that to me.
I don't have it.
I thought you had it.
Get a slab pack. No, I don't have that.
Then give me your slab pack.
That card's worth.
You buy me slab pack, Scott, so I can get the Bobby Witt Jr. Gold Refractor 2020 Bowman Chrome Auto, because that sounds awesome.
And it's worth a lot.
It's worth a lot. He's a stud. He's not going down. Get a Grail. Get a Grail. I want a Grail, Scott. Give me the Holy Grail. You do it.
To do that, you must get yourself a slab pack in Arena Club. Or if you want to get it for a friend, you can do that too. And right now, you can get 20% off your first slab pack or your first card purchase. If you're going on there and you're just like, hey, I want a specific card. I find it there. I want to grab it for my showroom. arenaclub.com/foul and use the code FOUL.
Here's this next segment I have planned. Who's your breakout player the rest of the season? Like we said, we have 7-8 weeks left of 2025. That's crazy. And it's going to be all about the future. The prerogative going forward is 2026 and beyond. So who is the player that you are looking at to take steps forward that you think is going to be instrumental in the future of this club? For me, it's Victor Scott II, and it's easy. There are certain players that when you see how they show up to the clubhouse every day and the amount of work they put in and how intentional they are about that work, you understand why the organization is so, what's the word I'm looking for? Optimistic or so convicted. That's the word I'm looking for. You'll understand why the organization is so convicted in this player's future. I know offensively it has not been great for Victor Scott, and he'll be the first to tell you that. He'll be the first to say, hey, I have to hit a little bit more consistently, because he is such a weapon, though. Once he gets on base, it's easy for him to extend another 90, 120 feet. I like what he said a couple weeks ago when he said, essentially, if I walk, I can turn that into a double. I just have to get on base more. And that's true. He is so fast. He's so speedy. He's such a threat on the base paths. As long as he's getting on base, doesn't matter how, that's an immediate impact in your lineup. He just has to do it more consistently. I understand that there is some clamor because he hasn't been able to really string together consistent offense yet, keyword yet. That's why the Cardinals have to keep playing him. One, he's their only true center fielder. Okay, yeah, Garrett Hampson can do it. Lars Nootbaar can do it. But Victor Scott is the center fielder of the future, so he should be out there every day. And the only way he's going to get better offensively, because I think the defense is, we all know what kind of defender Victor Scott II is. All right, he has such a high ceiling. And to be honest, I don't even think he's touched it yet. I think he's on his way, but I think the potential is so much higher. Offensively, when you get there for him, that's by keeping him in the lineup, you're expediting that process. There are going to be growing pains. We saw this. We just talked about this with Leahy. We've seen growing pains across the board, whether it was Burleson, Herrera. Like, take your pick of whatever Cardinal is performing well right now. They had growing pains too. So I'm watching Victor Scott II for the rest of the season because I believe that he can figure this out offensively. He can get on base a little bit more consistently. And when he does that, he will be a true impact player on both sides of the ball. That's why Oli Marmol has to keep Victor in the lineup every day. I know that we've been talking about the puzzle of the roster, how people are going to fit in. How can he get at-bats for Gorman and Walker and Burleson and Nootbaar, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the common, I think, fan perspective is, well, Victor Scott's slumping, so take him out of the lineup. That's the worst thing the Cardinals can do. He needs to play every day because he's going to be an everyday player. And the organization is so believes so strongly that he is going to figure it out on both sides of the ball. The only way he does that is by playing every day. So Victor Scott II is my breakout player the rest of the year. Drop me yours because I think there are several. I mean, you could say the same about Lars Nootbaar, whose future, maybe this is dramatic, might hinge on the next 2 months of the season. The Cardinals, we know, already have so many corner outfielders, and Lars is athletic enough to play, all three spots, but he profiles much better as a left or right fielder. Can he stay healthy? That was his big evaluation, and knock on wood, to an extent, mostly he has. One time on the injured list is really, I think the Cardinals would take that, right? Again, can Jordan Walker figure out how to hit the ball consistently and be an impact player? What can Nolan Gorman do with his sample size? We know that Alec Burleson is going to stay in the lineup every day, and he should. He's earned it. What can Ivan Herrera do in left field? What can Ivan Herrera do to finish the season healthy? These are all things I'm looking at. But Victor Scott II, that's my breakout player. I'm really excited to see what his future looks like because, again, I don't even think he's touched his ceiling. Don't forget, you guys, you can visit the Cardinal Territory shop for our first look at new merchandise. Once we get to 5,000 subscribers, we will be doing a giveaway. But nothing else for me about the Cubs series. We'll break down something. We'll have something for you tomorrow night. But it is my best friend's bachelorette party. I'm literally here right now. Look. So one, my ability to rally, undefeated. Two, I'm going to enjoy my time with her because that's the whole reason I took this time off anyway. So we'll be back at some point Sunday, traveling back to St. Louis for the Rockies series. We'll never miss a home series again. Or maybe this is a new thing. Maybe the more I leave, the more franchise icons come back. Think about it. All right, thanks as always for watching this Saturday edition of Cardinal Territory. We'll recap the Cubs series with you tomorrow night at some point. Just let me have this weekend, you guys. I'm kind of all over the place if you couldn't tell. Bernie and I hopefully back with you on Sunday, and then we have some really fun guests lined up for next week, and I'm excited to share that all with you guys very soon. All right, have a great weekend. See ya.